Now in this video, I want to talk a little bit about lightning inside Photoshop. And you can certainly create lightning from scratch inside Photoshop, but in this video, I wanted to talk about actually using the natural element of lightning to create a brush, and then you can do all kinds of really cool effects once it has been turned into a custom brush. So here I have this stock image of lightning. I just got this on my stock photo, and it is just some generic lightning as you see right here. I'm going to use this to create my brush from, because it's already made its natural lighting, or its natural lightning rather, and we're actually going to use the shape, not so much as the image, but more the shape to create our brush. So to do that, we're going to jump over into the channels. I'm just going to open up my channels panel, just drag it out here. I'm going to toggle through and see which ones, and we can see that this has got a glow going around it like you'd expect lightning to have. However, I need to go through and see which one has the least amount of glow on it to make my shape out of, and I can see the red one is probably going to be the best one. You can see green is a little bit more of a glow, and then blue just absolutely just glows it like crazy. So I think red's going to be the winner here. So I'm going to go ahead and make a duplicate of that channel. Just drag it down to the new channel icon. It makes a red copy. And all I really want to work on actually is this middle bolt right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw a very loose selection around both of these outside bolts of lightning here, just using my lasso tool. And I'm just going to hold down the shift key to add to this and just draw another lasso selection around the other lightning here. And go ahead and press shift delete, and I'm just going to fill this with black in normal mode, and it leaves me with just this one bolt here. Now I'm going to thin this up a little bit by doing a fill on this channel. Again, remember, we are on the channel and not the layer, but we are on this the red copy channel. What I'm going to do is press shift delete, and it's going to bring up the window here, and we are going to use black as the color, but this time we're going to change the blend mode from normal to soft light. And when I do that, it's only going to affect the lighter areas, leaving the completely white areas and black areas alone. When I click OK, you can see it tightened up the contrast on our bolt a little bit. So now we can go ahead and get ready to turn this into a brush. Now I could do this here, but I actually want to make this a two-sided bolt rather, so it kind of stops up here at the top, and I don't really want it to look like that. I want it to have kind of a two-sided thing, because the way I'm going to have the brush behaving in Photoshop, it's going to need both sides. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and create a new document, and I'm going to make it a pretty wide document. Let's make it 12 inches wide by 5 inches high, and I'm going to go ahead and leave it at 100 pixels per inch, and we'll go ahead and click OK. So now what I want to do is jump back over here, and I want to go ahead and make this an active selection. Let's actually do this. Let's minimize that new document. We're back inside the original lightning document here. And I'm going to go into the layers this time. Let's go back, click back on the RGB channels, activate all of them. Back into the layers panel. And let's go ahead and create a new blank layer. And I'm going to go under the select menu and go down here to load selection. And we want to load that red copy that we created. Remember earlier, we created it from the red channel, so it's the red copy. And we're going to load it as a new selection and click OK. There it is. Let's go ahead and just fill this active selection with white. So I'm just going to press Shift Delete and choose white in the Use menu, and we'll set this to normal and click OK. So now we have our lone bolt. In fact, if I just fill this background layer with black, you can see on that layer we have the single bolt. Nicely extracted, ready to go. Well, we're going to take that file we created, this large file over here, and let's first invert the background. The background is by default set to white. I'm just going to press Command or Control I, and that's going to set the white to black. Let's go ahead and take that bolt we have over here and drag and drop it over. And let's just rotate it. And like I said, I want this to be a two-sided brush. So I'm going to take this and scale it down a little bit and rotate it so it's sitting on its side like that. Now I'm going to make a duplicate of this layer just by pressing Command or Control J, and it makes a duplicate. I'm going to put it in free transform by pressing Command or Control T, or just go into the edit menu and go to transform and choose rotate. And go ahead and rotate this around, and we're going to position it where it kind of overlaps the existing bolt, right about like that. So now we're getting it kind of looking like one big bolt, and it really kind of has no end to it. So I'm going to go ahead and merge that down and make it one layer, and let's actually give it a little bit more of a rotation here so we can straighten it out. Now, this is what I want to define as a brush inside Photoshop. Now, if I do it now, it's going to define the black area and leave the white area transparent. So it's because it's only going to look at the most dense or most darkest areas and make that the most opaque area of my brush. So I'm going to have to invert the values here. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and Command E once again and merge all of the layers down to one, or you can just go ahead and flatten it. Go under Layer, go down to the bottom and choose Flatten. And now it's a black and white image. Simply press Command or Control I, or go under Image Adjustments and choose Invert. And it flips it around. Now that lightning bolt is black with the background white. If I go under Edit, Define Brush Preset, we can give this a name. We'll call it Lightning Brush 1. Go ahead and click OK, and now we have that brush, or that lightning bolt, defined as a brush. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to create a new blank layer and fill it with black. This way we can save that background if we need to come back to it. Let's put another layer above that one, and we'll go and grab the brush tool. And up here in the options bar, we'll just click on the brush menu. We should see a long list of brushes here, and the last brush you defined should be the very last one in the list here. There it is, Lightning Brush 1. And now if you go in here and paint, you can continuously get lightning bolts in here. Now, we have the brush defined, but let's do this now. Let's add more of an effect to it to make it look more realistic. I'm just going to click and set one lightning bolt on this empty layer. So it just painted one instance of that lightning bolt. So we no longer need this original file. Let's minimize that. So now we're going to put a layer style on this to give it a glow, so it really kind of looks a little more like lightning, like it did in the original image with that kind of blue glow to it. So I'm going to add a layer style. Let's go in the layer style menu and choose Outer Glow. And we're going to change the color to more of a blue. Give it a more electric look to it. Look at that. It's already looking pretty cool. I am going to go ahead and change the blend mode from screen, though, to hard light. That's going to make it a little bit brighter. And we can even bump up the opacity. And really gives it that really good look there. Really electrified look there. See, there's the before and after. Big, big difference. So now that layer style is applied to that layer. So no matter how many I add, it's going to pick up that layer style and give me that cool lightning glow. Well, let's select all that and delete it. Notice the layer style is still active on this layer. We just deleted all the contents of it. So now I can change the behavior of the brush, and this is where the experimentation comes in. So we've created the brush, we've defined the lightning. Now we can go in here into the brush engine and turn on things like shape dynamics, and perhaps go over here and take the size jitter up all the way. We can mess with the angle jitter here. Notice what's going on in the preview as I move the angle of the lightning bolts changes. Now I've also got flip X jitter and flip Y jitter over here. That way it'll flip it around, and this is why I wanted to make it a double-ended lightning bolt, because the chaos of this random nature of these settings will give me a very natural look to the lightning. If I go in here and paint, you can see it gives me a good scattered look to it. And you can do all kinds of cool things. You can paint along the bottom and get like an electric effect as a border effect. All different kinds of possibilities with just defining a single lightning bolt as a brush. You can go ahead, like I said, you can go in here and apply these different layer styles and have different effects going on. I will show you one cool thing though you can do with this. Well, just to give you an idea, look, here I have an image. It's a nighttime image. If I turn these settings off and just rotate the brush right like that, I can make that brush a little bit smaller, and I've got this layer on this image with the layer style that I created a moment ago, and it allows me to just go in here and boom, quickly paint in a natural looking lightning bolt on virtually any image to give it a realistic effect. And notice how that layer style is giving it that glow to really make a difference. Turning it off, you can see it looks okay, but adding that glow really makes it that much more intense, giving a more realistic look to it. Very, very cool stuff. Definitely want to play with that. Find yourself a good image of lightning. You can even Google images of lightning. It's just find a generic lightning bolt and then take it in and make a cool brush out of it, and just go in and experiment with all these settings and do all kinds of cool things with a lightning brush right there inside Photoshop.